What is up, Breathheads? It's your boy, Mike Holland at MC Holland34 over on Twitter. And welcome to another Live 4 Lock edition for tonight's DraftKings CBB Main Slate. We have a 6-game contest starting at 7 p.m. So about 45 minutes from now with 2K to first over on the board. We also have our 6th one and done invitational going on tonight. We will drop that link in the chat. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. We're just a few subs away from 1,700, so we appreciate that support. And tonight, we also have a special guest, one of the top experts in college basketball DFS from Run Pure Sports. That's Steve Boynton. Steve, thanks for joining me. Kind of last minute here. We're running around. We appreciate you taking some time out of your day, my man.
Yeah, we've been trying to line one of these up for a while. Good to finally get one on the books. It's only 6 games, though. So, being a little bit late is fine. I'm hopping in the one and done tournament. Got to defend my crown after I finally won one the other day.
The defending champ, man, is here.
Yeah, it's a cool tournament, though. Got some of our RPS subs in the chat here. If you aren't already following One and Done, go ahead and give them a follow. Give Mike a follow, all those guys, and hop in their tournament. It's a good little $5 invitational.
Yeah, make sure you guys checking everything that Steve's doing over at Run Pure Sports. I know he does a little bit of baseball action, and guy's been racking up some green screens over there that we can see from Twitter, man. So he's had a pretty nice week.
Good week.
We'll see if we can keep it going, man. Like I said, we have this 6-gamer popping up here tonight. We'll just dive right into it, man. So we got a couple of games in the 7 p.m. Eastern window, starting with an awesome game that we're actually going to live react to here when it finishes up. It's Gonzaga. We use KenPom numbers here. -1 versus Kentucky, 155 implied total. Steve, the big question mark, I was sending you messages earlier, was about some rumors about Graham Ike. He's 8,400. Sounds like he's maybe not 100%, man. What are your thoughts on Ike tonight and this Gonzaga side?
Yeah, they had the pretty much full week since the Vegas tournament last week. They were kind of able to sit him down early in that Michigan game to end that tournament. I'm not really all that concerned. He's had the full week off. This is a big game, and it's just such an awesome matchup, right? Like, we're going to be playing front court guys against Kentucky the whole season. We've already seen him like in games that Gonzaga's been pushed. He's played 34 minutes against Arizona State. Bama pushed him. He played 33 minutes. I think he's, on a slate where, we're not going to talk about a lot of studs in great spots. I think Ike is a great play. He always has the foul risk, but I'm willing to gamble on the ankle being fine just because of the upside.
Yeah, and if this one stays close, right? We've seen he's going to play 32-ish minutes, right? If he doesn't foul, he's got that massive double-double upside. Braden Huff sitting there at 7,800. Interesting for large field tournaments if you want to get different. I know Steve, I play a little bit crazier than Steve. I like to kind of toss some things, mix some things up. But, Huff's he's there, 30% shot range. Kind of an interesting turning pivot. Any thoughts on Tyon Grant-Foster or Mario St. Super or any of these cheap guys, man? I'm probably looking at TGF a little bit. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, we saw him enter the starting lineup. Gonzaga minutes today were tough, right? Because they had the 2 back-to-back blowouts in the Players Air tournament where they just blasted Maryland early. They were able to go to the bench. He also fouled early in that game. So I think we see 28-ish, maybe 30 minutes from Grant-Foster here. His per-minute stuff is so good. I think he's a guy worth gambling on the upside, especially in this game environment. Like, this game's gonna be up and down. Gonzaga and Kentucky are both going to want to play in transition. Basically the first couple games, right, Mike? We were just kind of waiting for them to put Grant-Foster in the starting lineup over Innocenti, and they've done that. So I kind of think that Grant-Foster, like, if we zoom out and we're on a show in 2 weeks, I think I'd be more surprised if Grant-Foster wasn't 8K than if his price goes down, right? That's usually one of the tiebreaker things that I do when I'm building like my main team is, when we see this guy next, is he going to be $1,000 more? And I think that's definitely viable here with Grant-Foster.
Yeah, I see the chat's up here, man. I got full-time 20 in here. Friday Night Hoops. Cam jumping in saying, yo. That Barrick in here, boys are back in town. And then we got D-Fit calling out Worley here.
Wanted to bring him up too.
Yeah, Worley, what are your thoughts, man? I think he's definitely the most interesting of all the cheap guys here.
Right. So awesome game environment. I think he's more of a play for the style that you play, right? And I think he's a great play in the big flagship. So, he played 20 minutes against Bama. He just hasn't had that big game, but look at the start of the season. I don't think that role is gone. They just haven't played in that many close games. 26 against Arizona State. I think there's upside for mid-20s minutes here. I mean, I think he should be, 4.5, 5K here. This is the cheapest price on the season for him. I just think the upside at that price is really, really good. You do have the downside that he plays like 15, 16 minutes, but I think he can still get there in a game environment like this.
Yeah, he's definitely in my value player pool for sure, my man. All right, flipping to the Kentucky side real quick. I mean, Otega Owe, I'm pretty interested at 8K, man. It just looks like this is a condensed rotation, at least the last game, right? We have potentially, I'm not sure if Jalen Lowe's confirmed in yet, but we know Diabate's out. Even if Jalen Lowe's in, I do have interest in Owe for the large field tournament, just with the usage rate. And if he's going to play, 33 minutes, I always have interest in him, especially what we saw from him last year. Malachi Moreno at 6,800. Awesome freshman, man. Do worry about fouls on that side, but yeah, those are probably the two guys I'm looking at. I'm not as much interested in Denzel Aberdeen. I don't know how much interest I'm going to have in Lowe, even if he's back. What are your thoughts here on this Kentucky side?
Yeah, the tough thing about the Kentucky guards is they're priced as if Lowe is out, and pretty sure he's going to be back here. We have him for almost full minutes over at RPS. When he played in that big game against Louisville, he played 30, kind of just right out of the gate before he got re-injured. Talking about Lowe here, not Owe.
Right.
It's just kind of tough to get to the guards. I think Owe is the best play up top. I'm really interested in the Frosh Moreno, like you mentioned. He's done well playing without fouls so far. It is a scary spot, but I don't know. There just isn't anything behind him, right? And like if he gets that 28, 30 minutes, he's got the 30 plus upside on a slate where there just aren't that many big time upside plays. So I'm fine taking the swing with Moreno. He's definitely my favorite play on Kentucky. The only other guy that I'm even considering is Owe here.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So that'll wrap up the first game here, man. Let's dive into this. This next game is so interesting to me. We got Samford plus 19 at BCU, 149 implied total. The Samford side, it sounds like all these guys are in. We had Norris and Faulkner missed last game. Booth returned, but he was limited because of illness and also was a blowout. Sounds like Norris and Faulkner are going to be in here. Faulkner with elite rates at 5K, but the matchup sucks. And then, you got Keaton Norris, who a 38% assist rate and, 21% usage rate is pretty interesting. I was earlier in the day mostly on Jaden Booth because I thought maybe one of those guys would miss. It feels like you got to have at least one of these three, man. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah. Talked to a guy earlier who's plugged in with Samford. He said that Norris and Faulkner are both back here. They're going to be full go. Keaton Norris is just too cheap, right? Yeah. He's 3,400. If we pull him up, Keaton Norris.
Yeah.
I've got him for 32 minutes at 3,400. Look at what he's done so far. Every game that he started, he's easily cleared this. We just don't get these, this kind of spot too often after the first week or so. I am usually I'm going to jam guys like this and make other people make the mistake of not playing the free square. I think Keaton Norris, if he starts here, which we're expecting to, is pretty much a free square on the slate. I think he can play to Samford too. You mentioned Booth. We've got him full go here. He's probably at least 1,000 underpriced. It's not a great spot at the Siegel Center here, but they're cheap enough where that's kind of baked in, right? And if you fade these guys, you could just instantly be buried.
Yeah.
So I really like Norris, really like Booth. I'll have both of them on my main team. They're both in the core over at RPS. I think Faulkner's interesting. I think you can play 3 Samford here. Yeah. There's just the downside that they just get, waxed and score like 55 points, but his rates are great. I think you can, if you're playing the flagship, you can like play Faulkner over Booth or something like that if you don't want to play 3 of them too.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll probably be using 2 of the 3 in a lot of my flagship tournament plays. So yeah, definitely have to watch for starting lineups on that one. On the VCU side, the 53rd in bench minutes, man. Now 84 implied total over on KenPom. You definitely have to like that. Barry Evans sitting here at 7K to do it all wing there, but I mean, you're getting these guys that basically season high price tags. More of a forward play for me on this slate. Djokovic at 6,400. I feel like he's pretty solid. Jadrian Tracy, I kind of like the way he profiles, but he's really going to have to make his shots here, man. What are your thoughts on this VCU side?
I think VC are great tournament plays here. I'm probably not going to play anyone on my main team, but the team total is great. It's a small slate. We could see them run Sanford out of the gym and score like 90 points here. I think Djokovic is a really good mid-range slate. We haven't really talked about like the kind of the context of the slate where forward is way tougher than guard here. So he does fit certain builds if you're playing around that mid 6K range comes up a lot for forward. So I don't mind if you land on him. He's coming off kind of ho-hum games, but I mean, they just flatline my VT team, so they didn't really need him. But the minutes are there, right? Like in their big games, he's seeing 30 plus. So I don't mind him. And I think if you land on Nick Lewis, I think he's a fine play around that 5K range. Not my favorite, but we have a good projection on him.
Right. Yeah, Nick Lewis. I don't know that I'm not
more of a floor guy.
Yeah, more of a floor guy. I'm probably going to take a few shots on see if I can catch the the 5X BCU guy. One out of every 2 lineups or so. So, all right, we'll fly over to this third game here, man. We're entering the 7:30 Eastern window. I think it's gonna be an awesome real life game. Obviously, Cincinnati +2 over at Xavier, 142 implied total. The Cincinnati side, man, talk about season high price tags. It kind of seems like a theme on this slate, especially after what they did last slate. You got Papa Miller sitting up here at 9,500, Day Thomas at 8,900, Chom down here at 7,400, Abev. It's probably too much for me at 6,700. Kirk Reese, I played on the last slate, 5,300. He's better, but you can never trust that guy. So I guess for me, Steve, my Baba Miller in tournaments, just because there's only a certain amount of guys, I feel like they can go for 35, 40 plus on this slate. What are your thoughts on the Cincinnati side?
Xavier tilted me. I think it was Monday, lost the 222 on a 48 from Roddy Anderson off the bench at like 6,500.
That was so bad. That was so bad.
This is a better real life game than DFS game. I think the best play here is betting on a bounce back from Milicevic for Xavier. They're playing the 5 out. He's playing the 5. He didn't really hit any shots in that last game, but man, at 6'2", we were talking about how weak forward is overall. I think he's a nice play if you end up in that range. He's coming off the dud game, but man, he was awesome in that West Virginia game. He smoked Georgia. Played really well against ODU. He's already shown the score that like you'll need in this range. Coming off, the blowout game and like a foul / he went 1 of 7. He's just going to play less. But if he's hitting shots early, look at that 3-game stretch in mid-November. So really like him as a tournament play. I'm going to have him on one of my 3 teams here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, I'm just going to watch this game and kind of enjoy it more from just a viewership of the game instead of playing this in DFS. I do have a little bit of interest in Baba Miller up at the very top, especially if I'm playing a bunch of cheap guys down at the bottom.
That's a bet on Xavier.
Okay, bet on Xavier right here. All right. Other than that, I'm really not playing anything from either side here. So we'll skip on over to what's probably going to tell the tale of the night here, man. The old East Texas A&M +31 at UConn, 139 implied total here. I don't really have anything on this East Texas A&M side, Steve, unless you can tell me if I'm missing something here, man. I'm pretty much looking at UConn. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, so as we're going game by game, I'm pulling up the projections for both teams. I didn't even click on East Texas A&M, so we can just we'll skip that. I was actually talking with the DK guys. I was like, just don't put this game on the slate. Don't, but they did anyways. The spread's now 38. So, I mean, this is going to be a full waxing from UConn. I do think that some of the UConn plays are interesting, though.
Yeah, I'm in on these UConn plays. It's just like how many and how different can I get, right? You have Caravan at 8,700. I don't know. It might be a little too crazy for me. I kind of like DeMary here at 7,600. I know with Brian Mullins, like everybody's going to be clicking the button for him. 4,400, he's just feels like a lock. DeMary at 7,600 seems like a cool tournament play. I don't really play solo ball. Eric Reeby at 5,700. We got Terrace Reed out, so still love him at this price tag, 28 to 30 minutes against this team. He should absolutely double here. And I think Malachi Smith at 4,100, I think he's a little sneaky here. So what are your thoughts and what are you doing with this UConn side?
Dude, Ryby looked good at Fog Allen, didn't foul against Flory.
Yeah.
He's been better than I thought. This is a spot, too, where he doesn't really need that 30-plus minutes. He could just shit on East Texas A&M in like 24 minutes here. Another guy, in a weak forward slate who's got upside, right? I'm going to take upside swings with these mid-range forwards. I think he's a great play here. He just looks good, right? He held his own against Florida. They won that game. I mean, they're going to score 90 points in this game. He just put up 30 in what was the final of the game? Like 60 to 55 or something like that.
Yeah.
Super low scoring game. Still got there. Played 31 minutes. I think I've got him we've got Ryby for 28 minutes here. If he plays 28, I think he's going to be in the optimal. So, Mullins, you mentioned, is going to come off the bench. It just seems like a really good spot to get him involved here. I don't think he's a lock just because there's really good value. We talked about the Stanford guys. I think he's a good play. I wish if he had forward eligibility, I think he would be a lock. It's kind of frustrating because he is a forward, but I think he's a good play. He's been really scoring reliant so far. I think he has a good game. I just don't think he's a total lock. I'm going to have him on either one or two of my 3 teams.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to have a lot of them. So I'll know my slate pretty early here with him. So we'll go on to the next game here. We got a couple left. UAB +3 at Drake, 147 over on Ken Palm. Chance Westry on this UAB side, just awesome rates across the board here. Probably my favorite play on the UAB side. Daniel Rivera is a little interesting for tournaments. Evan Chapman, like those guys are right there. Don't know that I'll be clicking their name too often. Probably playing about 8 to 10 lineups tonight. So I don't know. What are your thoughts here on Westry? And is there anything else that interests you on this UAB side?
Yeah, we've got a big projection on Westry here, just kind of leaning into the rates. He was a big recruit at Auburn. Just was kind of stuck in a guard logjam there. Just, I think he should be $7K, $7,500 here. It's a weird matchup for UAB. I know that Gavin's a bit concerned about them, just kind of in general here. He does more of our matchup stuff over at RPS. Drake just denies the rim. UAB can't shoot. He can kind of see ways where this goes wrong, but they run a super condensed rotation. The prices are right. I think Westry's a great play, good bounce back spot. He's going to get the minutes. The guys in the mid range, I think, are okay plays. Robinson, Chapman, Rivera, Meyer. I think that those are guys like you. If you're playing a bunch of lineups, I think you just kind of mix them in, right? If your lineup falls there, you use them. You're not starting a lineup with any of these guys.
No, you're not starting a lineup with any of those guys.
I do think Lindsey Martin is super interesting. What is his? He's at what's his price tag? 4.2.
Yeah, 4.2.
This is a big rates guy. Transfer from Georgia and then Texas Tech. I think it's a sports school.
He's at Murray State too, a long time ago.
Yeah, coming off just a shit game in a tough matchup where they just got dumpstered by Middle Tennessee. Now I think we've got him for low 20s minutes. His rates are so good. He's already put up big games in spots that are kind of like this. I think he's another really good tournament play.
Yep. Flipping over to the Drake side, I missed the Jalen Quinn night, so pretty upset about that. He went off the other day. 29% usage rate, 26% shot rate, 23% assist rate. Him and Federico just kind of do it all for this Drake side. 75 implied totals, pretty solid. I don't know that I'm messing with Apple Hands, Thomas. Like those guys are really shot dependent. Wiggins Exacte, I think that's how you say his name. He's 5,400 at forward. His rates are pretty solid across the board. So he makes for an interesting tournament play here, man. Do you like Jalen Quinn on this side? Do you like anything on this Drake team?
I like Jalen Quinn a good amount just because of the context of the slate, right? Like we've talked about there not being a bunch of high upside guys. I think he's a really solid spend, right? Like we've seen in their close games, he's played 35 minutes, he's played 38 against Georgia Tech. I think the floor is really good on him. I think he's just, a solid play that's going to give you 30 to 35, which is going to matter on the slate. It's a good home spot. UAB is going to pace them up. I think he's clearly the best play on Drake. On a different slate, I think Alia would be in play, but the upside just isn't there. And we have upside cheap plays. So on a different slate, I would be interested there, but it's basically Quinn for me here.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on this. Although I think I don't know exactly, like just looking at his rates, but I know I'll get burned by that. But that's the kind of my style, man. Throw it in the dumpster and see what happens. All right, final game here, man. This is in the 8 p.m. Eastern window. So Notre Dame +7 at TCU, 139 implied total over on Ken Palm. I have a lot of interest in Marcus Burton just from a raw point standpoint at 9,200. We just know that usage is going to be massive. He's going to take a ton of shots. I love the assist rate he's putting up this year. Jalen Harrelson, you can save a lot of change. He hasn't been great recently, but I think he's still got 5x ability in a tournament here, even though he's on the road. You got all these other guys, Tout, Shrewsbury, Serta. I don't know. Not for me, man. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, Burton smoked that night slate on Monday or something against Mizzou. Played 38 minutes, double-double with 10 dimes. This is a much different matchup, though. TCU's like hard hedge against a guy who's going to have to operate in pick and roll. It has me a bit worried. Like this is a tough matchup for Burton, no doubt. It's on the road. I don't know. He's
though, man, on the slate.
He's not my favorite spend, but there just aren't that many options, right? I think his floor is good. I just don't see like a massive game here. Their team total is also low. It's 66 here.
Yeah.
So like the projection's not going to be there on him. If you're playing Burton, it's just because, there just aren't that many spends. But I think Harrelson, is a decent play here. He's fouled some lately. He's their freshman who they're just going to keep shoving minutes to. We've seen, you can see on the screen here in games that he hasn't fouled, he's played 29, 30 minutes. So I do like him in tournaments. And I think Tout is at least in play here at 5,500. He's got a bunch of big rebound games, and you can get a cheap double-double here. He can get up to 30. He's off a couple tough matchups, but look at who they played. They played Houston. They played Rutgers, who's slow as shit. I think Tout can get you a cheap double-double here. I'm kind of leaving the light on that he can get back to, what he was showing early in the season.
Got to go 5 for 5 from the field, man. Get that double-double. All right. Well,
you're 6'10", that helps.
That's true. All right. Last side here, the TCU side here. Man, how good has Punch been? He's now 8,800. He's been amazing. Definitely don't mind him as a spin. 73 implied total here for TCU. I'm not playing Brock Harding at that price tag. Micah Robinson's a little interesting. The minutes have been there. He hasn't made any shots either. So I have interest in both the forwards, man. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Punch has been shoving it on me all season. I was not in favor of a breakout for him. He's just absolutely crushing. I was high on Harding coming in, and he's been really good. I think he's fine here. Wouldn't be playing Harding on a normal slate, but man, look at the minutes in their close games, right? 37, 38, 36. I think he gives you really good floor here. The matchup isn't great against a slow team. I'm not in love with the TCU guys. I think Punch comes in pretty owned here, and I'm just still not entirely bought in. We have a decent projection on him. We have him for 34. I think that even might be hot, but I think Robinson is going to continue to be my favorite play for TCU. He's been coming off the bench, but he's been earning more and more playing time in these close games. Really tough matchup against Michigan. He gets there, plays 30 against Florida, plays 28 against Wisconsin. It wouldn't surprise me if he sneaks into the starting lineup over the next couple games. Like he's given them really, really good minutes. Didn't even score last game. I think he's a really good tournament play. And also like a guy, especially since this is the last lock, if you have a bust early, I think he's a good like swap option. No one's going to play him. He's got upside for a good score here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're about 25 minutes away from lock, so we're going to get you guys out of here in just a second. Steve, I want to get a couple of – we usually do a core four. We don't do a core four here today. I'll give two that I really like, especially tournament plays, and I'll ask you for two that you really like, any setting that you would prefer here. I'm going back to Brian Mullins, man, at 4,400. They're just going to put, like you said, 90 points on this team, and I feel like they want to get them going. Plus, I am chasing what we saw right from the last game, but I just feel really good about it. So I'm going to go with Mullins there, and then man, I'm really leaning into this into this Chance Westry play at 6,500. Man, I know we talked about tough matchup. Just that price tag and just the rates across the board. It's gonna be a close, tight game. I do like him in tournaments, man. So can you give us maybe a couple of plays that you really like here on this slate?
Yeah, just real quick, we just got a report from Kentucky pregame radio. Lowe's going to be limited to around 15 minutes tonight.
Okay.
So that helps the OA play
Yes,
that
it
we
does.
were talking about earlier.
Now I do really like OA as a tournament play now. But
yeah.
Go ahead. What you got here?
For this slate, I'm definitely playing at least two of those Sanford guys in all three of my lineups. I think the best spend is EK. I hope that people are scared of the ankle. I think that he is just so likely to be the highest scoring guy on this slate. A couple tournament guys I like. We talked about Faulkner. I think Ryby's a really good tournament play. And then Milicevic from Xavier. I think he's going to be low owned here. And he's shown that, if in a 5-out system, if those perimeter shots are falling, he can give you 30 plus here.
Nice. All right, man. Well, hopefully one of us takes down a bunch of money tonight. Appreciate you joining me here, man. Hopefully we can do this a little more often.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out all of Steve's work over at runpuresports.com. And good luck to everyone out there joining the one and done tournament, $5 tournament. It's just for fun. Love to do it. So we'll get everyone out of here, and best of luck to everyone. Steve, anything you want to say before you want to get out of here, bud?
Yeah. We've got packages over at RPS. Just check us out. We got weekly, monthly, season. It's all pretty affordable, and our Discord is great. So hop on over. If you haven't seen us, we've got college hoops only packages as well. But thanks for having me on. We'll have to do this again soon.
All right, Steve. All right, good luck to everyone, and hey, why don't we go get this bread?